Namaste. Welcome to yet another episode of Ayush TV. We have Dr. Neeti Diwan. She is a medical doctor and has transitioned into intellectual property law. She is the head of patents and business development in RK Diwan and Company with over 22 years of experience. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Muskan. I'm very pleased to be here. And thank you, Ayush TV, for inviting me.
So, ma'am, let's begin with patents. Can you explain what is a patent and what is its relevance in the herbal and the Ayurvedic section?
So, Muskan, patents are exclusive rights which are given to an inventor or to an owner of a business who has created something novel and inventive. And these are territorial rights. It's a negative right. We call it a negative right because it does not give you a license to manufacture that product. You still have to go through other regulatory compliances, but it gives you a right to stop others from one making that product or using that process or selling it, even offering for sale or importing. So these are the things that you can stop others from doing when you have a patent granted on a product or process. So you get a monopoly on that product or process for a period of about 20 years. So that's what is a patent right. And it's very relevant to the Ayush industry. It encompasses products and processes. And traditionally in this industry, there has been a practice to keep innovations and whatever new developments happen and new technology evolvement, new products, new processes, they are all sort of kept as trade secrets or they go in the domain of traditional knowledge. But there has been a large amount of development that has been happening, not just in products and formulations. There has been new methods of isolation of actives from herbs. There has been also, in devices. For example, Nari Chikitsa has been a very traditional method of treatment, and this has always been kept as trade secret and passed on from one guru to the shishya. But now people have developed devices which can not totally over do what a practitioner used to do, but they are still able to pick up the signal, convert it to convert using an algorithm. They are able to give some level of diagnosis. So those kind of lot of advancements have happened in the industry. Process of isolation. Earlier, we used to use the traditional process of boiling the herbs or and extracting the active ingredients. Now they are supercritical extraction. So there's a lot of development, and that needs to be protected by the industry so that the time, money, effort, and intellect that a particular person spends on doing this activity, they are able to reap the rewards of that, and they are able to stop other people from copying. People who want to adopt the technology can do it, but they must approach the patent owner for a license. So the patent owner is also able to learn from licensing the technology. So this way, this will foster innovation. It will encourage people to spend money, time, energy on further innovation.
That makes sense actually. So, what I understand from here is any new formulations that you have, you get it patented, and if anybody else wants to use it, they need a license.
Yes, exactly.
So, Dr. Neeti, can you tell us what type of patents are relevant for the Ayush industry?
Okay, Viskan, there are two types of patents for all industries, and both are equally relevant to this industry as well. Firstly, there are innovation patents, which are normally called as patents, and the second are design patents, which are called design registration. Now, in the innovation patents, there are two types. Let's say product patent and process patent. So all patents can be divided into these two buckets, product and process. Now product can be either a new formulation, It can be a new, totally new volatile substance, a new active which has been discovered. For example, you have as I earlier discussed about this electronic instrument which, measures your pulse and gives some diagnosis. It can also be an apparatus for some new type of extraction of herbs. So all these come under product category. Process for either extracting or making the formulation, or even a process for treating something, a particular active to make it into a more stable form. So these are all called processes. So basically we categorize most patents into product and process, and both are equally important and applicable to Ayush industry. In fact, even in we have talked a lot about herbal sectors, but we have been filing patents for homeopathic formulations. We have filed for Unani medicine. So even in homeopathy, the product as well as the process is very important, and we have been filing and getting grants for such patents. Also, acupressure, acupuncture, meridians, so there is a scope for both types of patents in this industry.
So, doctor, can you tell us a few benefits of obtaining patents in the Ayush sector?
Okay, so first and foremost benefit is, as we discussed earlier, that when you obtain a patent, you get a exclusive right for about 20 years from the date of filing. And during that time, you can stop others from using the technology, manufacturing that product, or selling that product, or using that process. That gives you a very high competitive edge. And if at all somebody wants to use, they have to come to you, and you can, so you earn more. And so you are able to sell a patented product maybe at a little more price, because there is value addition, and there is no your competition is less. And at the same time, if you feel that you are not able to supply the demand which is there for that, you can always license it to another manufacturer and then earn a license fee from there. So it is a very good a vehicle for creating wealth for the entrepreneurs and also for the established manufacturers. The second part is that it is also very helpful in attracting investment, which is a lot of startups and entrepreneurs are looking for. Because once you have patented your technology and it has been examined by an examining authority, by a government authority, then and you have obtained an exclusive right. So the investor feels more secure that, okay, this is going to give me better return. So that is a very good instrument to also attract investments. You can do valuation of the patent, and that also gives the investor a value as to what kind of returns and what kind of investment they should do, and they feel very comfortable, because it's now not an intangible, it is still an intangible assets, but there is a value described to it. So that is another important aspect. And the third aspect is that when you are continuously innovating and filing patents, it is all published. It's published in the Gazette of India. It is also published in the other domains. So it brings that kind of acknowledgement to the creator, to the innovator, and to the company. It brings credibility that you are continuously researching, innovating, and bringing out good products, which are patented, means they are examined and the technology is found to be novel and inventive. So it brings that credibility also.
So it adds credibility to the products manufactured.
Yeah, and fame, and there's a fame and quality assurance that gets attached to such products and such companies.
Yeah. So there should be a process of filing a patent in India. Can you outline a process of filing a patent for the Ayush products in India?
Process for filing a patent application for all products are same. It can be product or process. What we have to do is we talk to the inventor. The inventor needs to give us the technical description to an attorney. They can write the specification themselves, but generally we would advise that go to an experienced attorney, because drafting of a patent specification is the first step in the process for obtaining a registration of patent. So, and it's a very critical step because it involves that kind of expertise, legal and technical expertise. So, once after discussing the technology, the patent specification is drafted, and with some forms it is filed at the patent office. So if it is in for India, then we file it at the Indian patent office. You have to pay some government fee for that. Then the patent gets published in the Indian Gazette, and they are deemed rights as soon as the patent gets published in that patent application. After that, there are technical examiners at the patent office, and they go through the technical description which is given. They do a patent search to see whether any other application has been filed which has got similar disclosure. So they do that process, and then they issue an examination report. If there are any objections in the examination report, we submit our arguments, and sometimes the patent gets granted after submission of these technical arguments. Sometimes they ask you for a hearing where there is an oral discussion that happens with the examiner or the controller at the patent office. And during that time, we sort of bring out the new aspect, the novelty or inventive step, whatever are the objections, we try to satisfy the controller. And once they are satisfied, the patent gets granted. After grant, we have to maintain a patent application by renewing it every year. So there is a renewal fees need to be paid every year, and we also have to complete some formalities of giving a statement of working. So you have to do these compliances after grant to just maintain the patent rights.
So, doctor, moving forward, can we discuss about design protection and how is it important about the Ayush products?
Design registration is mainly related to the outer shape, configuration, what appeals to the eye. It's nothing to do with the technology. It's nothing to do with the how it works, or does it have new ingredients. So basically, a product which has a particular appearance, shape is different, the surface configuration is different. Whatever is visible to the eye, which distinguishes this product from another product. That is what the design registration is about.
So, doctor, can you share a few practical tips for the businesses who are trying to obtain patents and design registrations?
Okay. The first and foremost thing is that a patent application should be filed as early as possible. So many people think that I'm going to develop the product, I'm going to develop the process. After that, I'm going to try it out, do the tests, and if it is giving me successful results, then I will start thinking of filing patent application. However, the patent application should be filed as soon as possible at the idea stage, when you have got the concept and you know how it's going to work. You don't have a lot of details now, but your idea is very clear. So at that idea stage, we need to file a patent application. It gives you two advantages. One, it gives you the earliest priority date. So anybody who works parallelly, even honestly not copying yours, but if there's an honest concurrent development happening in another lab or another organization, your rights come first, And secondly, during the process of this whole development of the product, you meet a lot of people, you sometimes disclose it, you may ask somebody to make the formulation or ask a lab to test. At that time, you're always exposed to the risk of somebody else using that technology or using that information to come out with a product faster than you. So that is why, firstly, it is very important that the creators or innovators file this application as soon as possible at the idea stage. Second thing is that there should be a clarity, there should be a good discussion with a professional, because identifying exactly where is the novelty, where is the inventive step, how the claim should be structured. Should we file only patent? Should we file patent and design? Taking this call. Or in some cases, should we keep some part of it as trade secret? So earlier episodes you've talked about trade secrets. And so it involves that also, that whether some part you should keep it as trade secret. So all this discussion is a very critical aspect of, again, identifying exactly what should be patented, what should be filed as design, what should be kept as trade secret. So that's again an important discussion which needs to be done. And then third is that I think it should be when you're creating an invention or creating a new product or process, keeping record of your data is very important, because again that is going to support your grant of patent. If you don't have the data to support, sometimes you may lose out on good patent rights. So keeping the data in a properly recorded form and making it available to the patent professional is also very important. And then budgeting is important, because it's a process that goes on for some time, and as we said, even after grant you have to maintain the patent and design rights by paying some renewal fees. So many times we find that people very enthusiastically file patent application, but when it comes to examination, they have run out of funds and they abandon. So it's very important to budget, ask for a quotation and ask for getting this information and budget it for the at least for the lifetime, if not 20 years, but at least 5 to 10 years, which will be the active product life.
So, doctor, can you please tell us what are the challenges businesses face while registering for a patent or design?
In this industry, Ayush industry, there has been a trend of keeping trade secrets. A lot of technology goes as traditional knowledges. There has been a lot of products and processes go under traditional knowledge. So when a person is working on this, it is very important for them to identify right from the beginning that, okay, this is already known, this is traditional knowledge, this could have been kept as trade secret, and then build on it and be very clear exactly what is the inventive area and what is the novel area in what they are doing. So this keeps coming, and when we file patent applications, and the examiner, the controller of patent, sends us an examination report, we have faced this problem that they come out and they say, oh, this is traditional knowledge, I cannot allow this. And then we have to show how this invention is over and above. There is some novelty, there is some thought process, and intellect has gone, which is not covered by the traditional knowledge. It is there is been an application of intellect and mind to create something new. So this is one challenge that we keep facing. We face it along with us. Our inventors also face. And the second part is that there is the data, the trials, the experimentation is not done in a very systematic way. And if it is done, sometimes it's not captured in a documented way. So there again the challenge of presenting it to the authorities who will grant the patent. But it's very interesting to see how the industry is really now sort of creating similar IPR awareness sessions the way you are doing here. And there has been a lot of development here. People are wanting to know how to do it, and they are going into very systematic protocols within the industry to make sure that these challenges are overcome. The third part we see is also about the cost factor, because it is a process. It does take professional skills from patent professionals, from attorneys, and also the R&D people. So there is some cost factor, which again sometimes is a deterrent, and but with proper planning, it is possible to overcome this challenge as well.
So, ma'am, as you know that we have a lot of new entrepreneurs entering the Ayush sector and the Ayush industry. What would your advice be to them regarding the patents and designs?
Okay. Firstly, I would say that identifying the patents, identifying what is patentable, what can be registered under design, is very important. And I think it will be great if such entrepreneurs can start this discussion with a professional early on when they think of the idea, so that there is a lot of hand holding that happens through this whole complex process. It is a complex process, and especially if they are entering into this domain, in this area of patenting, protecting for the first time, or it's at an early stage, then to start at a early stage will be very good, because then the professional will be able to guide them and do hand holding to say what to file, when to file, what to file as design, what to file as patent, what to do keep as trade secret, how much information we should put, and also guide through the different stages. The second is that, as I said, budgeting is very important. So they must budget for not just the file, the innovation, and so a lot of people budget for the R&D, they budget for marketing, they budget for publicity, but they forget about this part of IP protection. So that should also come into their to-do list right from the beginning. So when they plan and they budget for that, so that's very important. And the third aspect is that very proactively, once you have applied for a patent, even if you put patent application pending as on your website, on your product, even if it is not granted, even at that stage, you must use that information to convey to the public, convey to your buyers, convey to your distributors that this is a patent pending. Even at that stage, when it is granted, of course, you must make a big announcement of that, so let people know. But even at a patent pending stage, it is important to put it wherever possible on your product, on your label, on your website, on whatever marketing materials you have. And so that creates this thing, this pen. So it's a big deterrent for people to copy. Even at the pending stage, they don't want to get into legal hassle by trying to copy that product. So this is very important to label, to use, to publicize that you have filed a patent application or it is got granted, and then exploiting it. So sometimes you get a patent, you are manufacturing that product or using that process. However, your capability of making that, let's say your factory is smaller, or financially there is a little bit, there is some capacity. However, people tend to sit on that. What I would say that if you go out, create a strategy to exploit your patent rights to the maximum, your design rights to the maximum. So if you, by collaboration, by joint ventures, by licensing, there are various methods to see that the product reaches its maximum potential and it's not limited by a person's capability, financial or manufacturing capability. And the last but not the least important aspect is that if you see that somebody is copying, don't allow them to continue. Again, because of financial constraint, many people, even if they find that their product or their process or their patent is being copied or infringed by somebody, they don't take action. And they are discouraged that legal action takes a lot of time and it takes, but still I would say that find a way to take action, because that will stop then people from further and diluting your rights. So it's important to not only just create the right, but also exploit it and then take action for its protection.
Great. That was actually insightful and to the point. Thank you, Dr. Neeti.
Thank you.
So everybody, I think new entrepreneurs should be very happy listening to Dr. Neeti right now. Go get a professional help for your patents. So in the next episode, we'll have yet another interesting topic. Namaste.